Hi, this is Mike, and we're looking at Bitcoin trying to break the high. Now, will it break the high? Yes, it will, the little mini high. Will it be a long term continuation of this move? No, I don't think it will be because I told you we're in a wave D, right? And if you can't say that there's been a wave D, then technically it hasn't happened yet, right? I mean, logic tells you this. But I just also want to point out a couple of headlines that have come out on TradingView. Bitcoin is beating Warren Buffett's crypto bet in 2023. That worries me a little bit. That there is a bit of a weird one. Bitcoin could hit 1 million, crypto analyst suggests. Now, look, claims like that are definitely not something that you see at a low, right? You see it when people are starting to get bullish again. And I totally get it. Makes sense. Bitcoin price restarts rally as the bulls target new monthly high. Okay, so the rally has restarted. Okay, cool. Popular crypto analyst eyes Bitcoin breakout to 84,000. Well, I reckon it could go higher, but it depends where wave E ends. Okay, I'll touch that on that in a minute. Bitcoin adds, okay, so they're talking about wallets and stuff now, whatever. But can you see the latest headlines in the last few hours? What they're suggesting? People are already making this wave C probably going to extend a little bit higher. Okay, so this wave C will probably extend, I would say, probably to, I don't know, let's call it an even number, 28,000. Okay, my ceiling for this is 28,000, a round number near where we are now. Okay, so right there. If it breaks 28,000 strong and doesn't curl over and die, I will reconsider my options. But the way this started off already, looks pretty weak. The other thing is important. A 5 wave move is not a correction, and it's not an E wave in terms of wave two. It's in terms of wave B, which means we need to see wave C, which is only small. Okay, so wave A was small. Right, let's go back a little bit here. All right, and remember, wave A is this big down the lows here. This one. So obviously we need to extend a little higher because the last high was a bit too uh, well, it fell more than it probably should have maybe, but it came back to retest this trend line. So there's no rule saying it can't go longer than the A wave. Okay, so A, B, C, expanded D, E. That's what we saw down, 5 wave move at the highs. Now we just need to see that C wave. Okay. Now on the 4-hour chart, that looks amazing, right? Take away all my labeling. Now, to the person who's just looking at this, you would say to yourself, absolutely. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to be a kabillionaire right now in the next few minutes. No, probably the next few hours. All right. So it's oversold. Can't that doesn't mean it can't go over. We've seen that happen before. RSI doesn't mean shit. We know that. It's more about the pattern. Okay. It's more about understanding that we haven't had a D wave according to the last count, where I said that AB happened at the top. Remember the video? If you haven't seen it, I'll link it below. Right, the same thing up the last high, AB. Right. So the thing to understand that's important here is that these corrections This correction will probably be the same, just a bigger version, right? So even though the A and B were bigger, well, in this case, the C was bigger. So who cares about size, right? It doesn't mean anything, right? So here is A, B, C, and then the D up here is what's happening now, and then the E will come back down. Now, can E go any lower? That's an important question, right? So if we go to the daily chart, what I said to you in that video was that this is a wave 5, and we can measure the target based on where wave E ends. Okay, so wave E can extend lower. Okay, it can, right? So let me just delete this stuff here, just for now, right? Depending on where, okay, look at that. On the daily, we can see resistance ahead, right? Is Bitcoin gonna hit the moving average before it reverses? That's still a pretty decent move, wouldn't you say? Uh, okay, so depending where this goes, which could be that moving average, let's take the length of C from the moving average and extend it down. All right. Now, remember I told you the target is based on where wave E ends. So how would you measure that? Well, you'd obviously take the length of wave A, and if it happens to be this area, Bitcoin will only go to around 100,000, right? 120,000. It could go above it or below it, right? We don't know. Nobody can really know that because Bitcoin moves like crazy. It could even go up to 200,000, right? Because you got to think in exponential terms, right? From that low to where it is now is 1800%, right? But from that area there, 124,000 to 200,000, right? It's only 60%. Right? That's pretty crazy considering you're almost doubling your money, right? It's a weird exponential thing. So let's take it from 100,000. From 100,000 to 200,000, it's 100%, obviously, right? But from all the way down here to 100,000, 1,500% to 200,000, right? It's almost basically 3,000%, right? 100,000, 1,500%. You get it? 1,500% versus 3,000%. So that area there gives you extra 1,500%. Isn't that interesting? So you've got to think realistically. Is that going to happen in this run? All right. The thing that I don't like is wave D getting too long, right? Because wave D getting too long to me means that we're going to have a larger pullback, right? If wave E turned down from here, okay, maybe it might just come back to the low wave E. But I think by doing this, what it's doing, it's setting itself up for a bigger move down, which can happen in a short amount of time. Okay. Like if this happened over a period of time, this move here happened over a year, right? This move could happen much faster. So let's just get one thing straight. The absolute low, it cannot go below 3,789. technically, it's not allowed to do that if this is a zigzag, right? But can it come back down all the way to this level? Yes, it can, right? Because there's no way to really know where wave E will end, right? It doesn't have to just stay where it is around this area. It can actually come back down, right? Because if it's this is a D wave, of course it's going to get you sucked into it. That's what its job is all about. D waves do that, okay? And that's the only thing that I really have to say about this that's a bit of a worry. Because if we fall back down to a really low point really quickly, then the rally is only going to be recouping your losses, and the move up isn't going to be as awesome because the target will drop every time. Like if it moved up from this point on, from this point here, it could go to almost 3,000, 300,000, right? That's the difference. So, like, I'm not saying it's not going to go up. I'm saying that it depends where the correction ends as to where you measure your target. At the moment, the correction hasn't ended, so we cannot measure our target. It's not going to happen. Um, I don't know. Like to me, it's going to be pretty funny because there's a lot of bullish craziness going on in my comment section at times. And to me, I just really want to address that when the time comes to just illustrate to people how crazy they are to be going as far as putting comments down below, right? Just because I changed my mind a few times here and there, right? Who cares? Isn't the long term plan to actually get into a really decent long impulsive move? Absolutely it is. But why would you think that this is that long term impulsive move if it doesn't prove itself to be, right? That's why I did that video yesterday where I spent quite a few hours examining the chart, right? Taking a good hard look at what this whole thing means, right? So that's all. That's all it is. Do I have to do anything else, right? Not really. I just have to sit back and observe and see how crazy people get, because this to me is the same thing as watching these headlines come out where, you know, Bitcoin to a million, already bagging Warren Buffett, new rally restarting. I mean, come on, really? Look at that pissy shit weak move that's just started. Really? Rally's just started to the moon? I don't know, man. Really, like, please wake up to yourself. Learn the waves. Don't get wrecked every time that you think green candles means to the moon. All right, that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching.